Let me paint a picture. You're scrolling late at night, eyes burning, mind racing, quietly falling apart inside. Sound familiar? You're not alone. We live in an age where escape is a tap-away entertainment. Endless social feeds, shopping sprees, comfort food binges. But have you ever wondered why none of it works for more than a fleeting moment? Why, despite all our options, does that hollow ache always return? Here's the setup. We chase happiness like marathon runners chasing the finish line, but the moment we touch it, it evaporates. In psychology, this is called the hedonic treadmill. Your brain adapts to pleasure, always demanding more. But there's a deeper issue at play. We're overstimulated, bombarded with dopamine triggers, yet we're more disconnected from ourselves than ever before. The conflict? The world promises fulfillment but delivers only distraction. The resolution? It starts with facing the emptiness we try so hard to outrun. Now you might be thinking, but if self-care, routines, and motivation don't work, what will? That's the crux. Let me tell you a story. I once met someone who built every aspect of life around achievement. Meditation? Check. Affirmations? Double check. But joy? Always out of reach. Here's the technical bit. There's a difference between dopaminergic relief and serotonergic healing. Dopamine gives you the instant rush. Serotonin builds long-term contentment. We've been sold the first, when what we need is the second. There's a moment when you realize most of us aren't searching for happiness. We're just desperate for the pain to stop. But here's the twist. Every escape only deepens the emptiness. The cycle is brutal. A hit of relief, followed by an even harder crash. Why? Because we're patching bullet wounds with band-aids. The answer isn't more distraction. It's finding a source powerful enough to actually heal. So, let's get real. Is it possible to find something deeper than temporary happiness? Here's where the plot thickens. Strength, the kind that lasts through storms, doesn't come from excitement or motivation. It comes from joy. But joy isn't just a mood. It's a byproduct of something bigger. Now, maybe you're skeptical. Are you saying all my podcasts and positive thinking can't fix my soul? That's exactly it. Let me break down two crucial terms: transient effect versus abiding presence. The world deals in transient, short-lived highs. But abiding presence, being with God, is the only source of joy that doesn't run dry. Psalm 16:11 says, "In your presence is fullness of joy." Not partial, not momentary, fullness. This is the turning point. Relief is not healing, happiness is not joy, and strength flows from the kind of joy that only comes when you're anchored in God's presence. Let's dig deeper. Why does the world offer so many solutions but never deliver lasting peace? Jesus himself drew the line. My peace I give to you, not as the world gives. Think about that. There's a peace the world offers dependent on circumstances, propped up by comfort and distraction. This is what psychologists call conditional affect regulation. Your mood fluctuates based on what happens around you. But Jesus' peace is an override switch. When storms hit, his joy doesn't collapse. I've seen people face unimaginable loss and still stand, not because they're superhuman, but because they're plugged into a source bigger than themselves. The world numbs your mind, but Jesus restores your heart. One is anesthesia, the other is true healing. So here's my question. Are you settling for counterfeit peace when unshakable joy is on offer? You might be asking, so how do I actually get this joy? Here's where most miss it. Joy doesn't come from rituals or religious performance. It's not about checking boxes. It's about relationship. Let me take you inside the process. Every time you open scripture, you're not just reading words, you're meeting the person who crafted your soul. This is called revelatory encounter, where information becomes transformation. Imagine sitting across from someone who knows every ache, every frustration, every secret, and never flinches. That's what time with Jesus is like. When you make space for him, he doesn't just quiet the noise, he rewires your heart. It's not positivity, it's not hype. It's a peace you can't describe, but your soul feels it. The world offers substitutes. Jesus offers the real thing. And that's the difference between living drained and living full. So, why do we stay stuck? Here's the harsh truth. Most of our pain isn't because God abandoned us, it's because we never slowed down enough to let him in. Imagine trying to survive on a sip of water a day, then wondering why you're exhausted. That's what it's like to treat God as an emergency exit instead of daily bread. Neurobiology calls this spiritual malnutrition, your soul running on empty because it's cut off from its source. But here's the hope. When you finally let Jesus in, real fellowship begins. Your mind clears, your heart rests, your burdens lift, your strength multiplies. Suddenly, you're not running on willpower, you're drawing from an endless well. This is the invitation. Stop chasing what drains you. Start receiving what heals you. Because the joy you crave, the peace that holds you together, the strength to stand in any storm, it's all found in relationship with Jesus. And that's the transformation nothing else can imitate.